Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. This Taste Challenge is taking place at 5:34 a.m. Central Daylight Time, March 31st, 2020. Here we are in the U.S., United Soviet America, of course. USA stands for United Soviet America. I hope everybody's enjoying their house arrest. So anyway, even in a grim life like now in a Soviet America, or like in the USSR back in those days, those dark days, there are still some little glimpses of good. Everything in the USSR wasn't completely bleak, was mostly, but not totally. And then some of the older Russians will say, yeah, back in those days, there were some good things, you know. So, and I've actually talked to some that said that. So here in this communist environment that we're living in now, totalitarian, increasingly totalitarian, but we're going to try to look at some good things. There's been some big uprisings in New Orleans, happy to report. They're having trouble controlling it. More and more outbreaks of violence. No people getting together in big get-togethers. You know what I'm saying? Hanging out in groups of more than 10. And now the mayor, who's losing control of the situation. Oh, another pop. You see, I opened this cap, and it went psh, pressure release. Interesting. I've noticed with these that when it gets low, and there's only about 10% left, that there'll be a pressure release more than if it's filled. I guess it could still be fermenting. Now, I know you'll say, no, it won't do that outside the barrel. And it seems like that would be the case. But something's going on. If there's gas being released, there's gas being released. I mean, I know what I'm hearing. If I open up a bottle and it goes, psh, that's pressure. And it's coming from somewhere. It's not my imagination. Like beer, right? Opened a can of beer yesterday. Pressure was released. Anyway, gotta add a little bit more James Foxe. The James Foxe, it was $8.99 for a liter in New Orleans 2 years ago. I don't think that place sells it anymore. Those places, a lot of them, they'll get a load of something, you know, they'll get a shipment of something, it might be a special. Then you'll never see it again once they dissipate their supply. Let me go rinse this off my hands. Same thing happens here at Mathern's. They'll get something in and they sell it and you never see it again, which is a good reason why you should buy it when you got the opportunity. Like if I wouldn't have bought the James Foxe, I wouldn't have gotten that liter bottle. I could have gotten the half-size bottles, the 375s for $1.99 at Discount Depot, but that's probably gone. Discount Depot does the same thing. They'll get stuff, sell it real cheap, and get more stuff, sell it real cheap, so on. All right, but anyway, the mayor, I was reading about her. She was so frustrated yesterday, like standing with the governor behind her back, you know. They're making those mean faces. You know, you better stay indoors. We'll arrest you. We'll show you. We'll arrest you. And they arrested the leader of this parade they had, funeral parade, Saturday. And some other guy, kind of like to set an example. It won't really work. It's kind of like these high schools when they lose control of the students. They'll say, you know, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. But the students just laugh because they know they're not going to do anything. You know, it's like, what are they going to do? Arrest everybody in New Orleans? So it's interesting to see how in the United States, now in England, Spain, France, Italy, they're much more compliant, you know, because they're used to that kind of subservient type lifestyle. But in the United States, there's a potential for an explosion, you know, because you have that independent streak. So it just gold and gold. It's interesting to see how the authorities are being more like We'll show you. We'll show you. You're the enemy. You people are the enemy is basically what they're saying. We'll show you. We're going to keep this pot lid on. You will not do this and you will not do that. But they're fearing, you can see that kind of like concern because they know that you're not keeping the lid on. And now they're talking about, we're going to keep you under house arrest till the end of April and maybe halfway through May. We'll show you slaves how to live. And then but people are like, oh yeah. So, anyway. The empire is in its maybe the empire is in its death throes. All right, so you say, well, the fear mongering is going to keep people under control. The fear mongering, it did at first, but then now that's passed, and some people are wising up, and they're like, hey, man, you tried to trick me. Okay, but Fauci is still pushing it. They're going to be 100,000 deaths. 100,000. I'm telling you, it's over. You will die. You will die. Oh man, I don't blame the guy. That's how you make your career. Those kind of people make their career off of that. Some people make their career doing productive work, and other people make their career through alarmism or whatever. I remember the guy that founded the Weather Channel got fired, and they put him on the pay no mind. He founded the Weather Channel, but the Weather Channel won't acknowledge him anymore because he was standing up to the climate fear mongering, and they were like, "You're using unapproved speech. You're a deviationist. You're a deviant or something." He was like, "No, I'm just looking at the science, and y'all are the alarmists." They kind of put him. Go away, you weather idiot. And then now they're saying, go away, you COVID idiots. But everybody's not buying into the coronas. All right. I'm smelling this as I'm blabbing. Joe Biden's dentures. Sic semper tyrannis. Are we the Romans talking about how the Goths are never going to sack Rome? Right. It's like this is the year 409, and they're saying everything's under control. Britain is safe. Rome is safe. But, not really. Except the Romans weren't as strict, about like, we'll watch you, everything you do with a drone, Now, these are both very yeasty, like a, kind of like a biscuit or a muffin. Strange, right? But now with the sweetness, it's like a corn. Yeah. Like a corn muffin, but without the sweet corn. It's hard to describe. I notice like when I do the straight bourbons, it'll be just like corn. Like a can of corn without the salt. These don't have salt, so you don't have to worry about that. But it's like really pronounced. But with these blendeds, it's a lot less like of the corn attack. You say, yeah, but you don't get the charred oak and the vanilla. Yeah, you don't really. So it's like one yes, two no. And then the other is two yes, one no, whatever. It's very mild. Now, the Canadian Limited, LTD, Canadian Limited, was introduced in 1972 by Fleischmann's. And the bottle still says Fleischmann's, but, Fleischmann's is owned by Sazerac, so it's kind of a meaningless thing. Seagram started James Foxe, but Sazerac bought it in 1989. 75 to 89 was a Seagram's brand. Seagram's sold it off to Sazerac, and it doesn't say Seagram's anymore, it just says Sazerac. Sazerac, Frankfort, Kentucky, that's Buffalo Trace Distillery, blending plant, bottling plant, distilling, whatever. And then the one in Owensboro, Glenn Fleischmann's, I think, is just a blending and bottling plant. I don't think they actually I don't think they actually distill anything there. Still would be interesting to watch them bottle and whatever, but they won't let you go there. It's not going to be a tour. But there's no tours anywhere in America now. That was in the old days. Remember when the United States used to have that? You couldn't do. But anyway, I don't want to keep harping on to that. I don't want to keep harping on to that. Just be used to your prison planet. Golly gee, some people worry too much about all that freedom and liberty. And I mean, for real, thank you. That's so old style. That's throwback. This one smells stronger, but it doesn't smell strong. It's just stronger than that one. Like there's a more alcohol burn, more just corn derivative product. You know, these both are like, oh, they must be 85% corn. I bet you it's higher than that. And there's some rye, and there's some, like we say, plum wine or some kind of other natural flavorings. This says Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. Canadian Limited. It's got a beaver and a knight's helmet, 2 lions wearing crowns, a shield with 2 more crowns, Canada being a kingdom, and fleur-de-lis. And there's James Foxe. No crowns. Just says Canadian whiskey with the excellent label, the most excellent label. You say, I'm glad I don't live in Canada. They have a queen. We live in America. We got a president. See what benefits you got? You can stay at home and do nothing all day with a president, and those Canadians, they're stuck at home all day with a queen. And that makes a big difference, you see. You say, when I get arrested, my guy just wears a cap with like some little emblem of the local town. In Canada, it's got a crown. And you know how handcuffs always feel a lot more comfortable when they don't have a crown associated with them. Or let's say you couldn't go walk in the park, but in a free country like America, it's a lot better to not be able to walk in the park than in a kingdom where you can't walk in the park. You see, I think I'm making a lot of sense now, and I think you'll agree. And I'm unanimous in that. Yeah, it tastes like, hey, but it tastes like Canadian whiskey, which is what? Sugar. This is what I feel like it tastes like. Sugar, plum wine, or sherry wine, corn, and, you know, alcohol, 40% alcohol. It's very pleasant. Most people don't drink it neat. They mix it with soft drinks or ginger ale. I did that Pib Extra hangout Sunday, and I was like Walter Kurtz. I wanted to tear my teeth out. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then it hit me. I'll never forget it. It hit me like a diamond bullet in the forehead that I never wanted to drink another soft drink. All right. Or soda pop, as some people say. This one tastes remarkably identical to the other one, really. Hey, look, let you in on a little secret. These Sazerac blended Canadian whiskeys, they all kind of taste the same, but don't repeat that. We're going to keep that our little secret. You say, but all the labels are different and all the bottling plants are different. So lots of might not even be in a car, Sonny. Right. So we're gonna play along as though they're all different products because we can do pretend. I mean, after a while, it's kind of like James P. Madonna told me, you're running a hamster running in a cage, like woo, 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 woo. He was saying, that's all you do, all y'all do. You want to review this beer, review that beer, review this beer, review that beer, do monotonous, go through it. This is that, that is this is that, then give a score. He's like, there's no pizzazz, there's no character, there's no nothing to it. I agree with what he's saying. And his point is that ultimately there's no point to it. But then if you look at it in the right perspective, there's really no point to the pizzazz angle either. You see what I'm saying? It's like a personality issue. So what I'm saying here is, yeah, it's the same thing again and again, but I like to do it. Like, it's enjoyable to me. It's like fishing, you know, you go fishing, so you catch a fish, and then you go fishing, so you catch a fish, so you go fishing, so you catch a fish. But people still do it, right? So there's some appeal to monotony in a way. If you like doing it, it's not monotonous, even though it's monotonous, right? So that was what I was trying to tell him. I was like, yeah, but we like doing that. So like his aggravation is like, no, it needs glitter and pizzazz, and I was in pro wrestling, and you got to have a lot of this and that. But we're saying, or I'm saying to him, no, but I don't care about any of that. Like, boring things are exciting to me, you know what I'm saying? But to him, he just wants to pull his hair out. He just can't stand it. It's just totally unappealing to him, and I understand that. But we still like our la, 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 like a fan blowing, you know. So I'm gonna try to explain that to him this week. He's not gonna like it, but I don't know what to do. I say Thunder and Thursday is just something to do. I'm not trying to make it a big goal, or it's going to get big or go viral and we're going to get noticed and sell t-shirts and be on the Today Show naturally from your house. You can't actually go into New York. But it's just a difference of philosophy, but I'm never going to change. I mean, I know I'm not going to change. It's like chipping at a wall that cannot even be chipped. You know, it can never be impacted. So he's chipping, you know, you're going to change. We're going to bring in all this stuff. And I'm like, no, ultimately we're not going to change. And so the liquor, wine, beer, is always going to be the same. So like you say, well, I'm going to watch your channel 10 years from now. I bet it'd be the same old thing. It will be the same old thing. Will be the same old thing. Will never change. Will not change. The Who said music must change. The music must change. Well, that's the Who. That's music. This is not me. I'm not the Who. I'm not a rock band. All right. These both taste good. I would recommend them. Okay, I would recommend them. So what would be the qualifying thing here? What would be the nexus of the crisis? It could only be one thing. And that would be what? Price. Price, price, price. And it would be very nice if you only looked at price. These should never, if you drink James Foxe or Canadian Limited, you should never, under any circumstance, aside from the fact that you might just want to tell people, well, I tried that once. Understandable. I do the same thing. But you should never, under any circumstance, look at any other factor than price. Price only, every day for the rest of your life on these two. I'm only talking about these two. You understand? But really all the Canadian whiskeys from Sazerac. And we're about to find out this week what the champion is. And I think you already know who the champion is. Because then we're talking about the lowest price in the world for whiskey. That won't kill you. You know, you can go to India and buy whiskey for $1.02 for a gallon bottle, but you'll die, you know, because it's made out of wood alcohol, you know. So we're talking about legitimate products that you could actually buy and drink, and it's not fake. No, I would not recommend going to Kampala, Uganda, and buying whiskey from a guy in a wheelbarrow, you know, a guy selling whiskey from a wheelbarrow. I just would not recommend that. You say, well, Jim Morrison would have drank it. He drank anything. I know. Well, you know. I guess I don't know, right? I would like to sit up here and talk about, well, they're so different. There is a little rye spice for both. No big deal, because they always taste like that. There's the plum wine. There's the corn, you know. A shade of wood, but it's faint. You could tell it was in a wooden barrel, aging somewhere in Canada. Body's medium, finish is moderate. It's the same thing, you know, but I mean, I don't know. I'm going to read the comments. I saw the mayor of New Orleans blame the federal government for her not shutting down the Mardi Gras parade. Yeah, she's not the brightest person in the world. She appears to be utterly incompetent. She's pretty incompetent, which is nothing new for New Orleans. You know, the mayor, I mean, the governor was standing behind her. He was probably thinking, oh, man, why did I join the Democratic Party? But then you could say the same thing about the Republican Party. They're not all too good either. So it's like Socialist Party A or Socialist Party B. And then you say, I'm going on Facebook and I'm going to promote my party. I prefer Socialist Party A and you prefer Socialist Party B because you're bad and I'm good. And I'll show you. I'm going to put a bunch of memes on Facebook. Okay. Society is becoming Orwellian. Becoming? Big Brother is wearing a plaque mask. We're all Winston Smith, right? Thumbs up for Ronald Terrio, says Jacob Downey. Thank you. Good morning, y'all. I like Crown and Pepsi, something about the caramel, okay? I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. Yeah. Yeah, they're here to help you, all right. I know what you're going to say. Would you rather die? I think a lot of people are going to realize they would rather die than be under house arrest for an indefinite period of time. You know what I'm saying? And then these liars come on all the time. They fought for you at D-Day so you could live, so you could be free now. And they're like, yeah. Yeah. But it's like the Wizard of Oz now. The curtain's been thrown back and everybody sees the man behind the curtain and nobody's, well, obviously people are buying it. I got a lot of friends on Facebook I see, and even relatives, they're still feeding into that. Like, no, he is the great and powerful Oz. You have to, you're going to die. Wash your hands 67 times, take off your shoes, turn around, pick a leaf out the sky. You got to do this. But these are mostly people that are older, like 70s or 60s, 70s, and 80s, who grew up under that, you know, that America stuff. You know what I'm saying? That. And then you got the younger people who probably were exposed more to libertarian, freedom-oriented ideas, like anti-establishment ideas. So they don't buy into the imperialism so much. And they're the, you know, so then just because my father's first cousin is doing all this doesn't mean people are going to buy it. You know, they're saying, no, you want to live in a prison world, but that's your mindset, but we don't. And we won't. Like this 90-year-old lady lives around the corner from me. She's not buying into it. You say, well, she ain't going anywhere. But she can't go anywhere. She's too feeble. She basically has to stay home. But like she said, I don't care. I'm ready to go. I'm not worried about this. See? So they probably wish she would die. You know, the government probably was praying for her death because she's spreading the wrong message. She's not buying into the fear mongering, you know. They're selling it and she's not buying. Well, you know, I'm not buying it. I've been telling people on Facebook, you're selling the fear. I'm not buying it. See me wearing masks and gloves? No. Have I been walking around wearing a mask and gloves? No. Will I do that? No. Do I see people in the store doing that? Yeah, but they're fear. They're full of fear. If Georgia Washington was transported to 2020, he wouldn't be able to stop throwing up. He'd probably say, well, it's what I predicted. He kept warning about that. You know, y'all are going to become slaves to your own empire. And people say, but that makes us free, fool. Didn't you go to public school? Slavery makes you free. War makes peace. Didn't you learn about World War I and World War II? We have peace through war. War makes us have peace. Idiot. You COVID-idiot. I've had people get angry with me because I was preaching the message that war is not peace. And they're saying, you're wrong. You're wrong. My grandpa was in World War II. What? How that's related to what I'm saying? My grandfather was in World War II also. I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me. But sorry, but I'm never going to buy it. All right. So I think this is the Canadian Limited by virtue that it might be some kind of way the slightest bit less pronounced in the flavor. And I mean, it's so close. Forget it. Whatever I say doesn't matter. Believe me, these are like the same. These things are more similar than the Republicans and the Democrats. And they're very similar, regardless of what you might have been told. Oh, see, it's James Foxe. I was wrong. Haha. Big shock, right? Oh, wow. You couldn't tell them apart? You couldn't tell Libby's early June peas from Green Giant early June peas? That's the funny thing. You go to a grocery store and these people, they're like dedicated to a certain brand. They'll come in there. I need some peas. I'm like, well, there's some Libby's. Oh, I don't eat that trash. I only eat Green Giant, the real stuff. Oh, okay. But give them a blind taste test. See if they can tell them apart. Wrong. They can't. Now, if it's Green Giant versus Surefine or Best Choice, some store brand, maybe you could tell them apart, although that's highly unlikely in a controlled environment. That's highly unlikely. Now with beer, okay, beer, that's different because you get some really inferior stuff when you start dealing with private label beer. That I agree with. Private label soft drink, soda pop, yeah, you can get some real dreadful stuff. And I mean the premium, Coca-Cola, Pib Extra, Pepsi's horrible. So imagine how bad the private label. Wine, yeah, I had some of that stuff from Walmart. It's grim. I do plan on doing some more reviews of it because I like morbid topics. Liquor, not really so profound. You can buy some cut rate liquor and it usually isn't too bad. Usually, you run across some outliers, but usually not too bad. All right, so anyway, this was exactly what I thought it was going to be, a total tie and a washout. You say, well, I wasted 30 minutes of my life watching you not being able to tell them apart. Yeah, but I don't feel bad about that because I warned about that Sunday. Sunday, I told you not to watch it. Okay? I mean, I don't feel bad if you're watching what I warn you. It's like the Blue Oyster Cult song, I Am the One You Warned Me Of. That's a song from the Blue Oyster Cult from 1988. I am the one you warned me of. So I can't feel bad about it. Now, what's coming up in 2 days? James Foxe versus James Foxe under another label. Basically, it'll be the I don't know, Caliber or Canadian Crest. Now, what if I bring in the VO Gold? Well, yeah, then that's a different story. All right, VO Gold doesn't taste anything like these. It's aged 8 years. It was originated by Diageo. That was sold off to Sazerac. But they're still using the Diageo stock. All right, so yeah, that's not going to taste the same. The Gibsons won't be the same, but I don't like Gibsons. I'd rather drink these that are all the same than Gibson. Gibson got a harsh unpleasantness to it, in my opinion. Other people get furious when I say that. Black Velvet won't taste the same, but a Black Velvet is unpleasant to me. I don't like it. You like it? Okay, I don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't like it. It's harsh. It's abrasive. It's not smooth. It's unenjoyable. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel about it. Canadian Club, 12-year age, the 12-year reserve, the special reserve Canadian Club. I mean, obviously, that will destroy all of these Sazerac brands. James Foxe has no chance against that. That'll be a laugh. That'll be a joke. That faster than you lost your freedom, I'll be able to tell those apart, okay? And that won't be based on fear. That'll be based on quality. Okay. Heir to the Throne, That'll be a waste of time watching that because nobody can even get heir to the throne. It's a strange looking bottle. It was odd when I bought it 3 years ago, 4 years ago from Walmart. At first, I thought it was good. The more I drank it, the more I began to hate it. Now I despise it. I can see what, well, I mean, it wasn't going to make, even if it would have been good, it wouldn't have made it because of its obscurity. But anyway, so that's going to close that out. Then we're going to go into Scotch, maybe in about 2 weeks. The probably outlaw Scotch then because of an abundance of caution. But that'll be the Johnny Walker Blue Label. Now you say, well, Johnny Walker Blue Label is going to destroy every other Scotch you have. For the price I paid, it better. You know what I'm saying? It had better be no contest, because if it's in any way close, I'm going to be angry at myself for buying it, not angry at the company. I don't get angry at companies for selling stuff and people be a fool to buy it. A lot of small brewers won't be around in a year. That's right. I certainly don't like the precedent. You saying the president or the precedent? What's being done now? People are going to be rested and restless and have 1,200 bing bongs to blow. But the price is yet to be billed. I think when the pressure gets released, it's going to be bad, because these national socialists that run the country, they're very foolish people. You say, well, they're in the government, so they're smart. I don't know why you would think people that are in the government are smart. These are not really smart people. I tried to tell somebody that on Facebook yesterday. I said, just because you're in the government doesn't mean you're smart. Power, a lust for power does not equal intelligence. I mean, they might be smart. It doesn't mean they're smart. Obviously, many of them are not smart. Just listen to them speak. So they're going to have to pay, the people, talking about the people of America, are going to present them. It's like at a restaurant. You can't go to a restaurant, right, because of National Socialism. But they're going to present the bill and say, here's what you owe. And the government is going to say, I'm not paying that. They say, oh, you're going to pay in spades, so. Like Bob Zimmerman said, everybody must get stoned. So I'm not concerned, really. I don't mind seeing an empire be destroyed. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. In fact, when you think about the history, you almost want it to happen. You almost want it to happen. What do you do when they're out of corn whiskey? Riot. Right, you riot. Thanks, y'all. RYE-it. Get it? Riot. Oh, can't even make a pyramid anymore. I'm out. Oh, man. It's the New World Order.